6 months ago, my fish room exploded. Well, it didn't explode, but it did flood. And for those of you that do not know, I'm James Morelan, and a fish room is where a fish keeper or fish enthusiast keeps their aquariums or their other animals. And unfortunately for me, my fish room is located in my basement. And after our sump pump failed and it flooded our entire fish room, I was honestly depressed. And I think my brother noticed and he came to me and he said, "Bro, I know your fish room got destroyed and I know you're feeling really upset, but what if I told you there's a way that we can make it 1,000 times better?" And I was like, of course. And exactly 24 hours after the fish room flooded, we got to work. The biggest thing my brother and I wanted to change was the flooring. Over the past 2 years, we used carpet squares, and they weren't the best, but they weren't really premium feeling or soft, which was pretty annoying when I'm spending a lot of my time down here. So we ended up going to the hardware store, and we realized that it was way cheaper to buy brand new wood flooring than replacing the carpet squares that we lost. Who would have known? We ended up buying so many of those wooden panels that we're putting on the floor, and we ended up buying one package too short, but that's foreshadowing. We ended up going the next day to buy more. Once we got home, we had to remove everything, and I mean everything from the fish room. We had to move my desk, my chair, my TV, and also the aquariums. And let me tell you, if you've never had to move an aquarium, you are blessed. It is so much work, and they're so heavy, and it's so difficult to move aquariums from different spots throughout your house, and this was so insane. The main problem I had was the fact that my aquariums were filled with living fish and living plants, so I couldn't just remove all the water. I had to leave a little bit in there for the fish, and then I'd fill it up after I moved it. So I spent over 2 hours draining the aquariums to be able to slide them, and we also ended up lifting up some of the smaller aquariums, but it was still so much work. Once we were done moving the aquariums, we saw the concrete floor for the first time, and oof, it was so dirty. Not only was it still wet and still dirty from after the floor flooded, but it also had a lot of old dust and old debris on the floor that just built up over multiple years. So it was so disgusting. But let's not talk about that. My brother and I had to scrub the floor with rags, and we also had to vacuum out all the dust. And the main reason we wanted to do that was to prevent any buildup of nasty stuff underneath the floor after we're spending all the work installing new flooring. And I'm so thankful that we spent so much time on it, because if we didn't, it could have ruined the floor, but gladly we've had no problems since, but it still was really disgusting and still took too much time. Now keep in mind, this is the first time that my brother and I have ever worked with flooring, and this is the first time we've ever had to cut and measure this much flooring, so please don't judge us if you don't think it looks the best, but I think we did a pretty good job. There were a couple things that we messed up, but I'll save that for later. Now that the basement was almost completely clean, we had to use something called a moisture barrier, and that's a thin plastic cloth that we lay underneath the floor, and that prevents water or humidity from rising and getting into the wooden flooring because it can expand it or ruin it. So this part was very important. And once the moisture barrier was installed, that's when we had to start laying the floor. We had to measure, cut, lay it down, and then hammer in the flooring. And this process took so long. But section by section, it got better and better, and it started to slowly look amazing. I don't know how long you've been watching me, but if there's one thing that you need to know is that I'm kind of indecisive. It's hard for me to make up my mind, and I really don't want to mess up when I make big decisions. So going with this gray style flooring was a big decision for me. I could have went with maybe a lighter tan floor or a completely dark floor or a lighter floor. So I ended up going with gray, and it was in the middle, and I think it turned out pretty well down here, and it looks really good against the aquarium since they're the main thing in this room. It really helps reflect the light, and it just looks so awesome. And now that we were done laying all the floor, I decided to actually paint some of the walls. So when I was painting the walls black, my aquariums were in the way, so I wasn't able to reach around, specifically my 90 gallon. I couldn't reach my hand around, so there was a big massive spot on the wall. And now that the aquarium was moved, I was able to paint it all, and it was able to look uniform and complete. And once the room was completely done, I was able to redecide and redesign the entire fish room and where everything was laying out. So before I go into the placement and exactly what's in here, let me just show you an awesome cinematic. Here it is. Wapa. Oh, isn't that so awesome? I'm so in love with the new fish room and the way it looks, and I spend so much time down here, and I've really appreciated the flooring and the look and layout of the room. So starting off is my desk. This is a custom desk I made, and it holds all my filming equipment as well as my iMac, and that's the thing. I edit all my YouTube videos, and I also do all my homework, and I mean, the homework part sucks. But overall, the desk is very nice. I also have an Echo Show, but I'll talk about that in a couple more minutes. But yeah, this desk really is awesome. I also have this really comfy chair. Oh, I was trying to lean back in the chair. Oh, overall the chair is pretty comfy. And next to my desk, I have an Ikea couch. This is a newer addition to the fish room, and personally, I don't really go on the chair, but whenever I have family or friends that come down here, they like to go on the chair. I also sometimes film YouTube videos in there just because it's another backdrop. Who's texting me? Don't you just hate when you get a notification? It's like an advertisement, like you're hoping it's one of your friends hitting you up, but no, it's just an ad. Now at this point in the video, you probably noticed the big orange banner on the side of the wall. So let's talk about that. So I marked off the entire wall and I painted an orange stripe on the wall, and I ended up buying a stencil to put my logo on the wall. I love the design of this, and I'm actually still working on wrapping it around the rest of the fish room, but overall on this one wall it looks insane. Now on to the aquariums. So please do not hate me, but I'm not going to be showing my 10 gallons or my 20 gallon in this video just because they look so disgusting, and I don't want that to be like your memory of this, because in the next video I'm actually working on those aquariums and we're going to start making them look great again. So please do not judge me. I will, however, show you my 90 gallon, so let's head over there. Alright, challengers, so I guess this is the unfortunate part of the video. So while I was moving the aquarium, I ended up draining this 90 gallon and moving it into that back room over there. And when it was moved in there, I lowered the water line to about here, and I put saran wrap over the aquarium to keep humidity in while we built the floor. And the floor honestly took about 2 days or a day and a half. And that's how long this aquarium didn't have its life support systems. It still did have a heater and I had an air stone, but it didn't have its fluval filter flowing water and filtering it. So during that time, the fish, as you can see, most of the fish survived, but there's just like one fish or two fish that ended up dying. And unfortunately, the big fish that died was it was my long-finned albino bristlenose pleco, and I don't know how to do sad things, but like this was like my favorite fish. If you guys remember when I got the fish, I've had it for years, and I've had it since it was literally a baby, and it grew up and its fins got longer, and it was honestly like almost to its adult size, which is very unfortunate because, you know, that just shows how much I really like that fish and how I've had it for so long and I've took care of it. And it was honestly so mysterious, the fish. It would always hide in the aquarium. Like, I know this is a 90 gallon, it's a big aquarium, it's like 4 feet long. It would still find a way to hide behind plants or underneath the wooden logs, and I really didn't see it, but whenever I would see it and I was filming, I'd always freak out because, you know, it's my favorite fish. So yeah, I lost it, and albino bristlenose are so pretty. They're albino first of all, and mine actually had blue eyes, which is also pretty rare, but the fins are super long, and it's just such a majestic fish when it flies and floats through the water in the aquarium. It's just so nice. So yes, I did lose that fish, and it was very, very unfortunate, but gladly all my angelfish are doing a-okay. I have gotten messages of what happened on my discus, and I gave my discus to my friend Chase for his 55 gallon aquarium, but yeah, I lost my albino bristlenose pleco. I have other plecos in this aquarium, which doesn't make sense because I have bristlenose plecos and I think one other species of the spotted bristlenose pleco, and they're in this aquarium and they're still alive, which doesn't make sense that the albino bristlenose would die and the other ones are still alive. It just, I guess, wrong place, wrong time. Maybe it was just a little bit more stressed than the other fish. So yeah, so I might buy a new one. I really don't know. I really just like the look of them. They're honestly my all-time favorite fish. But I have fallen in love with Corydoras fish recently just because there are quite a few in here. They have albino ones and emerald green ones, and they look so cool in this aquarium. I mean, you'll see them darting around or looking for food, and they're really awesome. So yeah, that's the aquarium. And like I said, these aquariums will be addressed in an upcoming video. And what's awesome is directly underneath my 90 gallon is the perfect spot for my tortoise enclosure. Say hi! Now moving over to the entertainment center, I have my TV as well as my smart controlled lights. Oh, did I mention everything was controlled by Alexa? She controls my fish tanks, the ceiling lights, my desk light, my study light, and my TV. It's so insane that almost everything can be controlled by my voice. Well, the 90% of the time that it actually works. Alexa, turn the light on. Alexa! 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 Now here's some rapid fire awesome things in the fish room. Shelves that hold my aquarium products, a shelf that holds all my camera lenses, my basketball hoop, even though I suck, my security camera to check if my fish are okay, my HEPA filter to keep the air fresh, my micro fridge which keeps all my drinks cold and I don't have to go upstairs, but unfortunately I did run out of Dr. Pepper, and my mouse's soundbar with a subwoofer that lets me blast my music when I'm down here. So yeah, that's the fish room. And I quickly just want to thank all the challengers that have been a part of this journey and have watched me build my fish room and support me over the past couple years. It's so insane that I'm able to have this insane space with awesome aquariums, awesome accessories, awesome lights, and it's just something I honestly love. I do want to give a quick shout out to Roger N for giving me a comment that kind of sparked my interest in something that I used to do in the fish room. So I used to have these massive flags on the walls. They'd be from states in the United States or countries from across the world. Viewers would send me their flags, and I didn't get rid of the flags. They're in my back room, but they're no longer on the walls because I painted the walls and I like the way the paint looks and the plain wall. But I have been thinking a lot about that. I do miss knowing where all my viewers are watching the videos from. So my idea is to buy like 4x6 sticker flags, or if you want to send me sticker flags, just like smaller flags that I can put up on one wall, and that way it won't take up the entire room, but it'll still take a big part and it'll show where you guys are watching these videos from. I have a PO box down below in case you want to send me stickers wherever you're from. That would be awesome. That could be a new segment in the videos, or I can just buy them. I really don't know. Oh, also that brings me up to another point. So as you can see, the walls are all black, and I'm thinking about possibly changing them either to a white or a cream or maybe even a mint wall, just so it's a little bit brighter and it's not as dark and dingy down here. I mean, I kind of like the dark, but at the same time, it would be nice to have a more bright wall, and it might look better on videos too. Who knows? So leave me some suggestions, and in case you didn't know, I just love the suggestions. I read all of your comments and I reply to almost all of them. So if you do comment, I will read it and I will listen. So if you have suggestions for a different color, or if you're an interior designer, hit me up. You can also message me on Instagram at James Morelan. You know that's where I'll read my messages the most. But yeah, thanks for watching. Check out my new videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye!